Let us start. Today we'll continue with the remaining part of our lecture on equilibrium equation. Then some part of that is remaining. So afterwards we'll go into the next topic, which is stress transformation. Okay. And finally, there are some problems associated with stress transformation, which we will solve through MATLAB. Okay, that example we will see. This is today's lecture. So this slide we are using already. The remaining part we will take up first, and this is a new PowerPoint slide. So these slides are available in this particular laptop. I will show it from here. But what you can do, if you click here, some documents will come. You need a permission, so send me a request for that, and then you will be able to open or view those files. Okay. So let us start with our discussion on the remaining part of equilibrium equation. Okay. So I think we discussed up to this. Okay, let us start from here. Okay, so differential equation of equilibrium, this form we deduced in the last class. So today, and these are the same equations. This is in cylindrical coordinate. These are the equations in spherical coordinates. We just mentioned this thing. And then today we will first talk about a particular application of our equilibrium of equation, from which what we get ultimately is the speed of stress wave, which ultimately gives us the speed of sound in that particular medium. Actually, this equation comes from our equation of equilibrium. So let us take the first one, which is along x-axis. So for that, resolving our forces along x-axis, we got this equation where this is the contribution coming from acceleration. Okay, and if there is some accelerating or acceleration due to some striking force, then what will happen? The body will experience that acceleration, or its volume element will experience this much of inertia force. Okay. And so let us neglect this part of body force, and what again we are neglecting, those are the shear stresses. Contribution from the shear stresses we are neglecting. So body force term also we are neglecting. So this is what we will get, and you know that this acceleration is basically second derivative of the displacement in time. Okay, so this part is our acceleration. U is the component of displacement along x. Okay, for other directions, we consider this displacement field is given by u, v and w. We are not going to discuss that part. So now this is coming from our that inertia force. from that acceleration part. And now what is in the left hand side, you see this sigma, this is a normal stress xx, okay, because shear stresses we have neglected, and this normal stress is coming directly from Hooke's law, modulus of elasticity into strain, and the strain is on that space derivative or derivative of displacement field in space along x coordinate. So, here you take a note that this displacement, okay, this is a dynamic displacement. Okay. So, here this u is a function of x as well as this u is a function of time. Okay. So, here it is obvious that the body is not in static condition. It is some sort of vibrating body. There is a vibration within the body, and that vibration is coming from a striking force which is giving rise to this acceleration. Okay. So, this is clear. So, if we substitute this E into del u del x for this sigma xx here, what it will give? It will give another derivative on this u, we will get E into the second derivative of u with respect to x, and this is our right hand side, rho into ax is this thing, and this one we can further reduce in this form, is here, and see here this E by rho, this is a constant. If we replace this constant by c square, then what is c? This is root over of E by rho. Here, and this particular equation is known as wave equation. In your sound chapter of your physics course in higher secondary, you have encountered this equation, right? So, this wave equation gives us the velocity of that wave, which in case of a solid medium, elastic medium, will be the speed of sound. Okay, and this c is known as, this is the wave velocity, or this is the sound velocity in that particular medium. So, this is what we get from this equilibrium equation. That is one thing, but what we should note that we have neglected this shear wave contribution from this shear stresses. So, if it is also there, the strike is such that in addition to this acceleration or this normal stress, some shear stress would also occur, then what would happen? That part we are not considering here. Okay. So, that is one thing. Now, next. Now, here what, this much is okay. Now, let us focus on another say critical discussion on our equation of equilibrium. See, what we have already stated is that the equilibrium equations, they are valid at a point which is inside the body, and when we consider a point which is on the surface, okay, there what we do, we apply Cauchy's equation, right. So, that way the boundary points, that means the points on the surface of the body, as if those are double points. Right? On one side we have the external environment, on the other side we have the body internally. So, now what happens, just close to this boundary or at the boundary, that equilibrium of equation, okay, they are governed by our Cauchy's equation, and when the shape of this body, okay, it becomes, it takes a special form like this. So, it is a flat plate. Okay. There might be some other shapes for which the behavior of this body, the stress field of the body, is mainly governed by this boundary conditions, or what we can say is the surface conditions. So you see, when there is a free surface, there are loading on some part of the body. It is clear, everywhere we don't have the loading part. Okay. But even if a portion is a free surface, then in that particular free surface, there is no shear stress. It cannot come. That's clear. So that is why in such cases, the equilibrium equation as such reduces to some special form. So those special forms are known as a plane stress condition, and another special form is plane strain condition. So what we mean by plane stress, we mean that the stress field is confined within a plane. This is clear. So the idea is that if this is very thin compared to the other two dimensions of the body, length, height, they are appreciable, whereas thickness is quite low. It's negligible. In that case, our equations of equilibrium, these are the equations of equilibrium, they take special form. Special form means, what we assume here is this. It means that along or in a perpendicular direction to the thickness, the variation of stresses is almost negligible. If that be the case, and we know that this is a stress-free surface, right? Then along this particular direction there won't be any stresses. So, which is reflected in the Morse circle also. In that condition, a particular normal stress component, that will become zero.
Yes.
Right. So what we are getting from there is basically a plane stress condition, which is basically the state of stress in a plane. The discussion what we do in undergraduate, basically stress analysis in a plane, that is valid for plane stress condition. So this is a special case of our equation of equilibrium. This is, some conditions are given here. Similarly, there are some cases where strain field is confined in a body. That is known as plane strain condition. Actually, we didn't carry out our analysis on strain, which will be taking up afterwards. So then this condition, we will see this thing happens. Now what are a plane stress condition? Say this is our z direction, this is x, this is y. Okay. In that case, sigma z is 0 and all stress component along z. What are those? The shear stress component tau zx and tau yx. In addition, the body force part is also 0. So what is remaining? The remaining portion stresses are this: sigma x, sigma y and tau xy, as well as body force gamma x, gamma y, they can exist. So if we substitute these zeros in our equation of equilibrium, what it will give? It will give the reduced form of our equilibrium of equation. So this part is clear. So actually we will take up this form or this particular plane stress and plane strain condition in our discussion on stress function, but anyway that is in a later stage. So this is the thing, right? This much is the remaining part of our discussion on equilibrium equations. Now, so far what we took or we have mentioned repeatedly without any proof that the cross shears are equal. That means tau xy is equal to tau yx, right? But we need to prove that. So far we have only stated those things. We have taken it for granted that it is like that. But let us examine that part. Okay. So again we go back to that elemental rectangular parallelepiped. Right? At this point, our origin is shifted at this point now. Our focus, that means this is the point inside the body. Inside the body at a point we derived our equation of equilibrium when we focused at that particular point. We are going back to that point once again, and this is the same diagram. You recall? This is the same diagram. We used this one to derive the equations of equilibrium. Now what we will do now, say, now we will take up moment of these forces, okay. Say about x-axis, y-axis, z-axis. Again we will have three sets of equations, we will examine those equations. That means this is a case of moment equilibrium, and earlier we did force equilibrium. So when, let us do one thing. The state of stresses we have already discussed in plane x equal to 0, x equal to x plus delta x, right? The stress components are shown. This is what we already discussed in our last lecture. So that part we are not discussing here in detail, right? You know this part. So rather what we will carry out is the moment balance. Clear? So we are taking moment about z axis, that means along this z, right? Now you observe there are some component of forces which are acting along z, which is obvious from the subscript itself. If a particular subscript contains z like this, tau zx, tau zx, actually tau zx is along this one is tau zx, right? This one is tau zz, right?
Yes, sir.
This is tau zz.
This one is tau xz.
Yeah, this is tau xz. So this tau xz, then where is our tau zz? That would be on the back side. It is not shown.
Yes, sir.
That is not shown, right? So anyway, you understand that at the plane z equal to 0, at the back side we have a tau zz also. So those are not producing any moment. That is clear. And there are some components like this tau xx, this tau yy, they are producing moment about z axis, but their moment arm is say delta y by 2 and delta x by 2, because we consider the resultant forces at the midpoint, right? What about these particular faces? These faces are at a distance of delta y, and this face is at a distance of delta x. So there are some forces, say for tau xy. The momentum of this tau xy, actually there is a plus delta tau xy also. This momentum is fully delta x. This is not delta x by 2.
Yes.
So this thing we can observe from here. So that is what is coming here also. Right?
Yes.
This del tau xx and there would be a tau yy. These are normal stresses. So for these normal stresses, the momentum is delta y by 2 and delta x by 2. Clear? This is what we have seen.
Yes.
Delta y by 2 and delta x. These are the normal stresses. Then there are shear stresses. Okay. So this is a shear stress, and actually this is the area and this is stress, so this is giving us force. Force into momentum is the moment.
Yes.
So here also this tau xy is acting on an area and the other one is the momentum. So we are getting this volume element. This is what we have seen earlier also in deriving equation of equilibrium. So this is one part, okay. And here what will happen with the other component, this is passing through z axis, right?
Yes.
So that is not contributing anything. Rather that momentum is zero, so it is not contributing anything. And similarly, we have another shear stress component, tau zx. This is this is normal stress, so this is also this is a shear stress, right? Another one, tau xy and tau yx. So this is one, tau xy, this is other one, right?
Yes.
These two are there, and here we have this tau zx. Is it tau zx? No, this is actually tau zy, right? This is tau zy.
Yes.
So that is contributing towards the moment. And similarly here also, so it is at a distance of delta x by 2. Is there anything here which will contribute? Tau xx, this is at a distance of that thing. So how many shear stresses we are getting there? This, only this one, right? So that way what we need to do is to identify each of these here in this figure. Okay. So if we carry out this thing, we can find out what is the contribution of each components. Tau xx and this is quite obvious. This is one, this is the other thing. This is one, this is the other thing. This one, shear.
Yes.
This is one, right?
Yes.
Other shear, where is the other shear? This is yx. That means this is the top, on the top face we have this thing, and another one is there. Tau zx, only one. So this has to be this one, tau zx, right? So clear? Everything found?
Only this shear stress will be acting in the midpoint of the wall.
Another one?
Another two is this here stress will be acting in delta x, and this one is delta y from z axis. But
this distance,
sorry, tau x y, this here stress will be acting to the delta x from z axis.
right.
This one is delta y. from
Delta y.
And this one is
This is delta x by 2. Right?
delta y.
X by 2 and it is delta y by 2. Right? Delta y by 2, right? So at delta y by 2, do we have any component here? No, this is not the thing. We have no, this component is this will contribute, right? So this is tau z
zy.
zy,
Yes.
and this should be delta x by 2. And similarly, is there any other component? Or Actually, this is tau zy, right? This is not tau zx, whatever is written here. What is tau xz? We have a tau zx. Is it contributing? Yeah, this is also contributing, right?
Yes, sir. ZX
So
also, ZY.
this is also contributing. Another contribution could be from there. So similar to this, there is another component delta x by 2, right? Can we find it from here? This is xx, xx, xy. This is yy. This is yy. Tau yx. Those are on the faces. So there has to be another one, I think. Might be
Yes,
the similar to 1
ZY.
from tau zy, that would be delta x by 2, and area in that case would be delta x into delta y,
Delta
that
X.
part.
Yes.
Or yeah, that would be the thing. So that part is missing here. So there would be an additional term. Okay, let us go further. So say there is another term, and then what we have, from this sum of the part will get cancelled. This tau xx and this one, they will get cancelled. Similarly, from here also this tau y and this will get cancelled. So whatever we will have ultimately, those are the differential quantities only.
Yes.
So this is the differential quantity. From here also this is the differential quantity which will be there. And on shear stress we will have some stress values plus the differential quantities. So this is the remaining part. It is shown here. So what will happen in that case, if we have another component here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Is there 7? 1, 2, 3, 4 terms are there. How come some are getting reduced to, actually this is get cancelled, right? This has get cancelled. Now what we are having, still we are having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Another one is there, 5. Somehow there is some mismatch, okay. Some more terms will be there. And what we are doing here, this tau xz, actually they are getting cancelled, tau zy, delta tau xy, and here we have delta tau zx.
Sir,
There
are two equations here. One is equal to cross here, and previous here the ZX, ZY term will be there. And
so, equality of cross here, that means these are the terms of the previous equation,
yes,
right?
sir. Yes, sir.
So some part of it has come here. Yeah.
Then
So the remaining terms are here
then
basically,
there are
right?
7 equation finally.
Okay.
7 terms will be there.
Hmm.
in this equation.
Right. So that is what has happened basically. Okay. So okay, that is fine. So what happens? These is a continuation of this. We are not getting some of the terms here.
Yes.
So these terms are given here, and from here we have cancelled some of these terms. Okay, plus and minus they will get cancelled, and The remaining term with substitution for this tau xx, tau xy, etc., we have written it here. And from here, what happens in the limit? So here, in this form, what we are doing here, this delta x, delta y, delta z, they are going towards this particular point. Right? If this happens, then we are not neglecting the forces, rather we are taking that half of these distances, they are getting equal to tending to 0.
Yes.
That is the assumption here. So that means when they tend to 0, these terms, they are tending to 0, not the stress differentials.
Yes.
This is the assumption. So in that case, what will remain is this tau xy and this tau yx. Okay. So this is our equality of cross seer condition. That part is fine, and taking moment with other two axes, we get this. This part is fine, but only problem is what happens when this continuum, this assumption is valid in continuum mechanics only. When we are tending to 0 and if we go into the micro domain, okay, in that case, there is a big question mark on this, right? So that is why you will see that in some advanced material models, because nowadays there is a lot of work on micromechanics or material modeling for applications in plasticity, in fracture, within the grain.
Yes.
So for those material models, this equality of cross shear, they are showing some other effects. Okay, some more parameters are coming there to capture their contribution. So although that is not part of our coursework, we are focusing on continuum mechanics, but we must mention those things that we will take up in a future lecture. Okay, but we will be discussing some of them. Okay, this much is fine. So this is about equality of cross shear, and the next part would be our discussion on coordinate transformation. Okay. So whatever is shown here is in 2D. So this idea is that if this is the state of stress in XYZ coordinate axis, and if we consider another axis, say x prime, y prime, z prime, then the state of stress matrix will have some other values. That example we have seen in our undergraduate studies. When we rotate the coordinate axis xy to some x prime, y prime axis, we know that these are the equations, which comes directly from Morse circuits as well. And the application of this is in plane stress condition. So that is our next topic, the coordinate transformation. So let us stop here, and then we will go into the next topic.